broken down, old and faded, all rusted up, dilapidated, leaning to one side like a friend in need. There's a pile of shingles in the front. Oh, they decided that enough's enough. They kept the rain off my head for too damn long.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the beautiful San Luis Valley and to the historic Saguache Hotel. My name is Andy Hackbarth. Many of you know me. Some of you have seen me perform either on land or on cruise ships. And believe it or not, I just bought this historic hotel a few months ago. This is an incredible area. Saguache is a magical place, and I'm so excited to turn this old hotel into the new Saguache Hotel. I'm gonna need your help, but I wanna show you around and tell you what we have planned. Come on, let's take a tour. Beautiful original lobby. You can picture the coffee shop over there.
Now, ultimately, this will be early 1900s themed in terms of decor, but at least this gives you an idea what it'll look like once it's renovated.
Have a nice little corner stage there for your singer-songwriter to entertain the coffee shop guests. It's a nice space. We just demoed it. Got a little work to do still, but it's going to be really cool. Here's the original kitchen. Now, for this entire hotel, we're going to redo all the plumbing, all the electrical, put in a new heating system, new floors. Watch your step, construction zone. Welcome to the ballroom. I'll let you go first. Now I want you to pan back this way. This wall is going to be taken out, sealed off. There's going to be a beautiful stage right here.
Now again, stylistically, I'll have this match the early 1900s theme of the rest of the hotel, but yeah, this will probably be Andy's all-request piano bar. We'll bring in bands 1 or 2 nights a week. It's going to be a great spot for live music.
This section over here was a 1920 addition to the original 1910 hotel.
Now my plans have changed a little bit on this part of the building. I think I'll run a wall right down the middle of this, turn this into 2 separate units, each with sort of an open concept floor plan, a full kitchen and bath, and each with its own entrance from the outside of the building.
Watch your step. Let's head upstairs.
Now there's some exquisite woodwork in places in the hotel, and I love this old skylight, although it needs some attention. I'm working with the Schuber and Darden architectural firm to try to modernize this hotel while still maintaining its original character.
Living space here, kitchen, and bathroom back over there. We've got an identical floor plan on the other side with a great street view. You can see the historic Ute Theater right out across the street. Pretty cool. One of my favorite things are these beautiful floors. In the second story of this hotel, they are everywhere. They're going to be sanded, stained, and they're going to be immaculate. I can't wait to see them.
There will be 16 units total, 8 of which will be regular hotel rooms, and 8 will be suites with a full kitchen that we might also be able to use as long-term housing.
Now there used to be a really nice rug that ran all the way down here. It was just falling apart. We had to take it out, but again, we're going to refinish those floors. It's going to be beautiful.
About 15 or 20 years ago, they were re-roofing, and for whatever reason, the roofer skipped town halfway through and left it unfinished. So we've got a lot of water damage up here in the ceilings. And you can't just come in and re-drywall this stuff. This is historic lime plaster on a wooden lath backing. So we're going to have to pull all this down and re-plaster it like it was originally. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to look really nice.
Now I am living here, so this is a little lounge hangout area. Pretty cool little space. It's the Zen room. You can take a peek in some of the bedrooms as you go by. Again, some of the plaster damage. Oh, this is my room. Come on in. This is where the magic happens. And by magic, I mean this is where I go to sleep. Nice little room. I love the wallpaper. Kind of makes you dizzy if you look at it for too long, but it's pretty cool. Down here we've got the kitchen, makeshift kitchen apartment.
Uptown.
And ladies, you are gonna love this bathroom. Take a gander. Woo, doggies. We got motion activated lights. Maybe. Oh, fancy. Now, don't tell the building inspector about this next part. Here's our current temporary plumbing setup for our shower. Maybe not quite up to code. And yes, the coup de grace, the shower. This is my favorite place in the whole hotel. I love it. You can take a peek in that bathroom if you want. There's 5 or 6 of those original clawfoot tubs in there scattered throughout the hotel. This goes back down to the kitchen. We've got a few sheds and an old boiler room out back. One of the coolest things about this property is this empty lot. People are out on the patio. They've got a nice beer, a glass of wine, bring their lawn chairs, their kids, their blankets. They sit down in this nice fenced off area right here. And then in this southwest corner over here, we're gonna put in a nice, beautiful stage, bring bands in during the summer and the fall, have weekly concerts, music festivals. It's a perfect place for people to chill. You've got this beautiful downtown area as your backdrop, mature trees everywhere in Saguache. This is gonna be an incredible spot. I'm so excited. Let's take a quick walk around the outside of the building. Come on.
Again, I'm going to summarize for you. Got some lovely hollyhock flowers, the original fire escape, and heading to the back patio area.
Fenced in as well. This will be a nice little hangout area. Now you can see up here, the soffits, roof, gutters all need to be replaced. It's going to be a tremendous amount of work, tremendous amount of money. You also see we've got quite a bit of decay, mortar decay. All of this is going to have to be blown out, taken out, replaced, repointed, retucked. A lot of hours in that.
Got this old shed back here with the original siding. It's cool stuff. Behind this wall is the original steam boiler and compression tank, and this is a beast. I'll include a picture of it in here. They must have put it in and then built the room around it. It's possible that we'll be able to convert this into a hot water holding tank for some of the passive solar stuff that we're going to be doing later. And again, the character of this old tin that's back here is so cool. Antique collectors go crazy over this stuff. Another huge project, and one that I think I may put my dad in charge of, all of these historic windows, they can't just be replaced. They need to be restored back to their original form. It's a painstaking process. We've got a ton of windows. That's a big project. So I want to give you a brief overview of why this area is so special. We'll also meet a few locals and talk a little bit about the history of the Saguache Hotel and of the San Luis Valley. Now, Saguache is a cozy little town of about 450 people located in central Colorado. The San Luis Valley is home to one of the most beautiful mountain ranges in Colorado, the Sangre de Cristos, and it provides access to almost any outdoor recreation activity you can think of. Within an hour or so drive, you have the Great Sand Dunes National Park, one of my favorites, Wolf Creek and Monarch ski areas, several exceptional hot springs resorts, and the internationally famous spiritual and artistic mecca, Crestone. There is so much incredible history here to talk about, and I've met some of the most interesting, resourceful, and kind-hearted people here.
And now our block is a complete art block. And now with you in the hotel, I mean, that's very fortunate. We have always wanted to be a destination town, but no one, and it was that we knew that the only way that was going to happen was if the hotel got sold. So it allows us to be the centerpiece in our triangle of big tourist centers, Santa Fe, Denver, and Durango. I mean, it's halfway, so people can stop for lunch or dinner or all night, and it's really, that will attract more people. And with a good bar and a good restaurant, it's just perfect. All this stuff for us is very karmic, or for me, it's just really karmic, and it's wonderful.
This is a very interesting town in 3 directions. You've got a postcard, silhouette on the background. So, why would you want to go other than to make money? Right. This building used to be a brothel as well, a legal brothel. You know, they've since done away with the legal part of it. Oh yeah, the cowboys only get to town once a month. And they all get paid about the same time. Was a real happening place during the 20s, the days of Al Capone. There was a guy that was playing with his Thompson that fired a round that went through 3 apartments. But yeah, I think you're going to do well here. I really do. I would have to say I see 100 cars a week stop and try the doors to see if the hotel's open. Yeah. No, it's a great place. You've tackled something that's going to take a lot of work, because while it sat dormant, nothing got done. And it needs to be.
I lived in the southern part of the San Luis Valley some years ago, and my husband and I really liked the feel of it. The air is pure, the water is pure, lots of open space, and lots of public land. The hotel has been part of this town for so long, almost its entire history, that it's something that holds a lot of value for preservation and you know, keeping up, remembering why it's here and what it's contributed to the community. And I think it can continue to do that once it's refurbished and in action again.
I was pretty active in the Front Range music scene for maybe 10 years or more. It's just touring a lot and playing anywhere from 1 to 5 bands, depending on what I had going on or who needed a bass player. And that was a lot of fun. Just kind of got worn out by that. I just was overextended and was still kind of overwhelmed by the traffic. And I'd been wanting to move down to Saguache for maybe 10 years and made a jump to get a little bit more space between me and the Front Range, and it's worked out really well. My band has members in Boulder, Pueblo, Trinidad, and then I'm here in Saguache, so we all have to drive anywhere from 3 hours to get to a gig or a practice. So I would love to play out there on your stage. Yeah. Love to help build it. Yeah, building stages is fun. Perfect. I don't date anyone in Saguache. I usually just keep my radius at Salida or Crestone. So maybe that's just because small towns come with small town drama, and might as well just keep it separate.
We stopped for lunch, and she had fried chicken on the menu, and she had also had apple pie on the menu. So at the end of lunch, I asked for a piece of apple pie with chicken gravy on top. She came running out of the kitchen and said, "You must be Pennsylvania Dutch." And turned out she came from eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania like I did, and so we sat and talked for a while about the old times, and then eventually got around to the fact that, yeah, she could house the students in the hotel, and turned out to be a great place for the field camp. The first summer we went, the students were really excited about it because they had heard that the hot springs on the other side of the valley were a great place to do electrical prospecting for technical reasons. But more importantly to them, they had heard that it was clothing optional. And so they were really anxious to get over there and start doing surveys. That lasted about 2 days till they discovered that the hot springs were crawling with rattlesnakes. At that point, they decided they would rather do their work elsewhere. Well, the whole San Luis Valley is unique in the sense that the crust was torn apart by the Great Grand Rift, and there was a lot of volcanic action. And they formed layers, and in between the volcano periods, the sand collected, so now you have layers of hard impermeable volcanics and sand, and the sand forms aquifers. The water flows into the aquifers up on the west there, and is basically never exposed to pollution or anything else. So when you tap that water in the aquifers, it's great water, it's pure, and there's a lot of it.
That's tied to an Indian tribe, the Utes. But they used it as a causeway. So the mineral springs that we have at Joyful Journey, they would gather there, they would do their healing, their bathing, that was their respite. And so this was like a causeway for them to get from winter and summer grazing, you know, following the food and things, your Spanish heritage is really strong here. Also, your pioneers from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it's strong here. More to the south. But that is also a history that when we came initially, we were surprised. We didn't know that that pioneer history was here. Yeah, I'm in a local quilting group. So I kept looking at the bedding going, oh my gosh, if he had some quilts on those, that would look so beautiful. I was talking to one of the quilters and she goes, do you think he'll let us do a quilt show in his hotel? I said, I'll ask. So there you are. I asked.
Absolutely. On camera.
On camera.
Absolutely.
We get a lot of people that come here hunting in the fall because we've got, they fluctuate, but we have good populations of elk and deer and bear, things, you know, that people are interested in pursuing.
Yeah.
It's a small lake, so the fishing isn't tremendous, but the scenery is pretty amazing.
Fishing's not always about fishing, is it?
You know.
We're excited as neighbors to look across and to see the sign lit and then to see the things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're
Eat
just...
your vitamins, you've got a lot of work ahead of you.
Saguache's thing was that it was on the route from the Canyon City Railroad to the San Juan mines. And the valley floor was very boggy. So you had to go one side or the other. And Saguache was just right on the route. And Saguache was prosperous at one time. Yeah, very, they put sidewalks, I mean, you look at the sidewalks and you go, why is there a sidewalk here? You know, it's unbelievable, really. You wouldn't even believe Saguache when I was a kid. In 18 whatever, they planted a tree probably every 12 feet, a cottonwood tree. There's a postcard, I'll just say 13, but it's about right that. And it's of the tree-covered streets of Saguache. Well, in 1913, nobody cared about trees. I mean, there were trees everywhere. God, they were enormous, some of them. They must have been 80 feet tall. Well, the Utes were moved out a long time ago. They would migrate from the mountains and go across the mountains and fight with the Arapahoes. I don't know. They necessarily had to fight with the Arapahoes, but they would migrate. Well, there was a burial up there.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was Flagpole Hill, and apparently they had a flagpole up there, and ran up and down that hill. I don't know. They were a little more energetic than we are, apparently. But and the great movie was made at the hotel, pretty much. Land of Little Rain. That was quite exciting. Helen Hunt, right?
Yeah.
She was not very friendly. She wasn't very successful at that point.
Yeah.
I think when she became really successful, she probably loosened up some. But my mom was in it.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. In fact, people sitting in the hotel, in front of the hotel, they're all dead now. But yeah, well, you know, that's what happens when you do something, I don't know how many years ago, 100 years ago. You know, the hotel was just open when I was a kid. It had a couple of residents. Well, I had one permanent resident, I think. And I said, yeah, it'll be okay until winter, you know, first of the year. And I said, no, you know, kind of blew me off. And then it became January 2nd. And I went, wow, it really stopped off and shit. I went, yes. Well, Saguache is a rarity, and it's just a Colorado town, so Colorado mountain town. So it'll go the way of all Colorado mountain towns. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So we used to be a little small town, and now it's kind of a resort town in Aspen. Some guy said, well, I bought a house